genre.
Doctor Who The Long Way Round, the weekly podcast where we review, discuss, and recap every episode of Doctor Who, one doctor at a time. I'm Nick Jimenez.
I'm Scott Corelli, and I really like the way that you say recap. It's like robot.
Yeah.
And I'm Cassandra Fredrickson, and I also really like the way you say recap. It's like a Shakespearean actor.
Yes,
it is.
That's what 4 years in theater school did you. Also, you notice that everyone in pop music uses contractions.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, everyone says I'm and you're, and I am is like would be really weird. And anyway, so today on the show we'll be discussing Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Don't call it that.
Often shortened. I love the title Doctor Who and the Silurians.
Oh, it's the worst. His name's not Doctor Who. The show can't even get the nerd stuff right. Like what?
Doctor Who and the Silurians sounds like a band in an Edgar Wright movie. I'm just saying. I when I saw the title screen, I was like, I dig that a lot. It's like when you see, the 3 in Iron Man 3 spelt out. And you're like, oh, that looks really sexy for some reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, and it's the second story of the third Doctor.
Yeah,
his second adventure while he's exiled on Earth.
So this is season 7, and it is, in my opinion, I think it is one of the strongest seasons of Doctor Who, period.
Comprised mostly of the Silurians.
Well,
all the other ones are that long or longer, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only 2 more. There's Ambassadors of Death and then Inferno, and all
wait.
stories.
It's called Ambassadors of Death?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the next third Doctor
Oh my
story
god.
Is. It's incredible.
It's the most metal thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, it's pretty metal, and it's amazing. It's a fantastic episode.
There has to be a band called that by now.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in our next session. But yeah, it's season 7's incredible. And the Silurians. I mean, it's funny. The Silurians, like, it's a story that I often forget how good it is because every Silurian story after this is the same story.
Yeah.
But this is the one that originates it, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have an iconic like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or something that's remade so many times, like it's never going to be better than the first time if you keep doing it that way,
Right.
Which is kind of what they've been doing for decades.
Totally. So yeah, I mean, I love this story. And at 7 parts, I don't think you really feel it. And I think that's the best part about season 7, is that all of the episodes are really long. All of the stories are really long. They're all like 7 parts, except for the Spearhead from Space, which was only 4. But every other story after this is like 7 parts, and you never feel the length. At least I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Every episode feels really great, and like I burned through all 7 of these really fast because I was loving it. Like I was just eating it up. It was great. So I really like the Silurians, and I'm really impressed at how tight they can make a 7-episode story feel, which sounds insane.
Yeah.
But they totally pull it off. So let's talk about part 1. In part 1, so part 1 of the Silurians begins with a cave monster. So there are these guys who are kind of checking out a cave. They're doing stuff in this cave, and they've got their hard hats and stuff on, and they get attacked by some sort of cave monster that we don't really see. And there's some really great zoom attacks. That's how it attacks, is by zooming the camera really fast into the people.
And just, one extra, God love him, just screaming his head off.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love that effect. It's just like quick snap zoom into this person's face. Oh my God, what?
Just doing their best Sam Rockwell and Galaxy Quest impression.
Yeah, totally. I love it. And so they get attacked by this thing, and then we cut to the unit garage where the doctor is working on his car that he got in the last story. And he has named it Bessie, and he's trying to get it to work
after his mother.
Bit. Get it to work. I swear to God, if they ever revealed that the doctor's mom was named Bessie, it would be the greatest thing ever. I think that's the only acceptable name for the doctor's mother. Honestly.
Well, he names it Bessie as a joke because Liz, her full name is Elizabeth, and another nickname for Elizabeth, it's kind of antiquated, was Bessie.
Oh.
So that's why, when he's oh, it's Bessie, she kind of glares at him, and he's
I remember that moment.
Yeah, that's
okay. Why. I didn't put that together. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
It bothers me that her name is Elizabeth Shaw, because that just makes me think of Noomi Rapace in Prometheus.
That's who she was named after.
Oh, well, now I love it.
Yeah, because what's funny is so Ridley Scott is a massive Doctor Who fan.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. To the point where if anyone were to make a Doctor Who feature film, it should probably be Ridley Scott, because he's that massive of a fan.
Oh my God.
And Ark in Space, which is the next story that we're going to cover, is the 4th Doctor's second story. He remade Ark in Space, and he called it a little film called Alien.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? We had this conversation at the end of last episode.
Did we?
I think we did.
I don't think we did.
I don't remember.
I hope I'm wrong, because I'm just I just got deja vu all of a sudden.
I think you just have deja vu. I don't think we talked about it.
Nice.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about Alien, aka the Ark in Space.
Peter Jackson and Ridley Scott should pull a 10-10 and hey, you direct one, I direct one. I would
that'd be pretty rad.
And they both die. That'll be
that would actually be a really cool way to I'd be pumped about a Doctor Who hiatus, extra long hiatus, if I knew I was getting feature films.
Like Sherlock.
Not like Sherlock, because they don't actually get feature films. They get 90-minute episodes of television.
Oh, you mean actually going to the movie theater and seeing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, so Liz Shaw comes in to the garage, and she's like, "Hey, listen, the Brigadier needs to talk to us. He wants to meet us at this place called Wenley Moor, and they've got some issues over there, and he wants to talk to us. So let's go." And he's just like, I'm not interested. And she goes, "What? Wenley Moor, famous for caves." And he's like, "Well, all right." Okay, I guess.
Caves, you say?
Did you say caves? That sounds an awful lot like a rock quarry, and you know how much I love rock quarries.
I hope I see a Silurian.
So
Cardiff, let's go.
So the doctor agrees to go with her, and she's like, okay, but we're not taking this car, right? Because you're still working on it. And he's just like, no, we totally are. And he kisses his hand and puts it on Bessie's radiator, and it instantly starts. And he's like, right? Yeah, pretty great. So then they take Bessie through the streets. And there's something inherently ridiculous about the doctor behind the wheel of Bessie driving in traffic.
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
getting stuck in traffic.
It's the best. It's the first perfect moment in this saga of perfect moments. But
oh my god, it's incredible.
You guys remember? Have you guys ever seen Tootsie?
Yes.
You know, and like that shot of like, you know, wide shot of that reveal of Tootsie and like walking down the crowded streets of New York. Dun, dun,
yeah.
It was like that, but like the doctor driving a car.
Yes.
You're just God, like, he looks like the biggest idiot in the world.
On that sequence. That would be fantastic. Oh my god, amazing. It's even the same kind of like zoom out thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's such a weird choice. He just looks like he looks literally like he's in Wacky Races.
So then we arrive at Wenley Moore, and the director, Dr. Lawrence, is talking about what they do there and how annoying Unit is being there and how they're always in the way. He's very grumpy, and he has the most incredible on-screen comb-over I think I've ever seen. And I don't know if it's a character choice or if this is a legitimate comb-over that this guy thinks works. I don't know which of those things it is. But either way, it is absolutely amazing. It's incredible.
And the character himself is actually pretty amazing as well.
He is pretty amazing. But he gets better and better as it goes along.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So he's talking about how annoying Unit is, and then he ends his little speech, and the Brigadier introduces the Doctor and Liz Shaw, and then so we meet Dr. Lawrence, we meet Dr. Quinn,
Medicine Man,
who is not to be confused with the Medicine Woman.
No. Every time I watch this episode by myself, and every time someone said Dr. Quinn, I would say Medicine Man.
And then Major Baker, the security officer for the station. Mm. And what they do at this place is that they are experimenting with nuclear power. They are trying to turn nuclear energy into electric power, which had never been done before in 1970. So this is very impressive at the time, and very experimental. And it includes a cyclotron, which is a proton accelerator. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's been happening at this base that Dr. Lawrence tells them is that they've been experimenting with this nuclear energy, but they keep getting drained of power. And there's also a high incidence of mental breakdowns and accidents. Mm-hmm. Accidents.
Continue, Gollum.
Yeah. I was looking at the word absenteeism, and it combined in my brain with accidents. So people are missing. There have been accidents, and some people have returned from the caves with mental breakdowns. And one of these guys,
but that's not the main problem. The man says, he says, I can get over all that.
Right. The main problem is that they're losing power.
That's what really sucks.
Yeah, we're losing power, and so the Brigadier has called the Doctor here to look into this power loss situation. What's going on? So basically, what happens is they end up going to the medical wing to because the Doctor was especially interested in this whole like insanity thing. Like, the people are going crazy. Like, yeah, but the power thing. He's like, okay, but you said people are going crazy.
These people will never be the same.
That seems more important to me. So he goes and he talks to the doctor of the medical wing named Dr. Meredith, and he's like, yeah, no, these there's a bunch of patients who are going crazy. They go to the caves and they come back and they're insane. And the doctor goes and talks to one of the guys, and this is the one guy that survived the cave monster Zoom attack from the beginning. and he is basically turned into a caveman, which is our second time we've dealt with cavemen in this season of the show.
Oh my god. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, weird, right? Isn't that weird how that lined up? Yeah. So he has become a caveman. He's sort of like de-evolved into a cave person. And the doctor points this out, and Dr. Meredith is just like, all right, whatever, man. That's really dumb. You're really dumb. And then there's that moment where the doctor this guy, he attacks the doctor, Spencer, is that the guy's name? I think that's the guy's name. So Spencer like attacks the doctor and starts to strangle him, and then the doctor just like soothes him, and he's like, shh, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, just go back to drawing on the wall. Like
eyes of my eyes.
Person. You're all right.
Tatanka.
I love Pertwee just like trying to soothe this cave person. And then he's just like, yes, I am okay. Okay. And then he just goes back to drawing on the wall.
Yeah.
And so then the doctor's like, okay, I need to get down to the bottom of whatever's going on in this cave, right? So the doctor gets into full cave gear. And he starts checking out this cave. Mm-hmm. And, this is after, like, he's, like, talked to the Brigadier again. He's told him what his theory is, and the Brigadier's like, yeah, okay, that's really dumb. But whatever, you're the doctor, I guess. Which is a running theme with the Brigadier. The Brigadier, in a lot of ways, is the Doctor's Scully.
Oh, yeah, no, their rapport in this is just...
It's straight up Mulder and Scully. I mean, that's
great.
Yeah. And then the thing that cracks me up is like the Brigadier knows that the Doctor is the Doctor and he's an alien and he is turned into two different people. And he knows this and he's aware of this and he knows that this is a thing. But the idea of people being turned into cavemen is just like, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, Brigadier. He's a real Scully.
I can't remember what part this is, and I hate to miss it, but there's a scene where they're trying to talk about this mystery, and the doctor says like, "Oh, well, you're no Sherlock Holmes, Brigadier," and then like someone comes in and is like, "Oh, we have to go do this now," and the Brigadier's like, "Come along, Watson," and I'm just like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Oh, the Brigadier's great. So then the doctor's like, "I'm going to go check out this cave," and he goes, he's decked out in like cave exploration clothes. He's got this whole outfit going on with like a rope across his chest and a safety hat with a light on it. It's
costumes incredible. I can get behind. I'm not so much into disguises.
Yeah. The characters. Costume, like Pertwee going in like full cave, like excavating.
Spelunking gear.
Oh, spelunking gear is it's amazing. It's amazing, and I love the idea of like a 12-inch Pertwee figure, like those old G.I. Joes, and they all have like different outfits.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my god, I would eat that up. I would buy all of it. It'd be incredible. I'd buy like 6 base Pertwee figures, and then I'd buy all of the outfits.
I haven't wanted to buy an action figure. There are 3 times in since I've been an adult that I wanted to like buy an action figure, and it was after.
I really like the way that you say figure too.
Figure?
Yeah, figure. I like that.
um,
Good. It's like recap and figure.
I'm
on board. I'm on board with your
Wow.
language, sir.
I'm learning so much about myself.
Yeah.
But it was Pacific Rim and then Star Wars, and then I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like I walked out of Warcraft a couple weeks ago, and I want the
like in the middle of the movie, like you should have because you're
no nice points. But no, man, I wanted an action figure of the Toby Cabal orc.
Oh, okay.
Because he's such a great dude.
Yeah. You know what I'm most disappointed about with the next Planet of the Apes, which oh my god, we're only a year away from.
I literally was thinking about Planet of the Apes today, like the next one.
Yeah, I am disappointed that Toby Cabal probably won't be playing a role in that movie.
Yeah, he said he's open to it.
Koba's so well. The movie's already done. They already shot it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, production is over. Yep. They're just doing the Weta stuff now.
Yep.
Oh my god, you guys! There's going to be a new Planet of the Apes movie next year.
Amazing.
Oh man, I want to stop this podcast and go watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes right now.
I checked. It's not streaming anywhere.
I own it.
I know you do. You own everything.
You're not wrong. You're not incorrect. And you are not ape. Oh my god, beautiful. So the Doctor in spelunking cave gear is strolling around this cave, and he turns a corner and he runs into the Cavosaurus Rex, which is a dinosaur that's like a mini dinosaur. He's like the size of two raptors standing on top of each other in a trench coat.
He looks like a Pee-wee's Playhouse character.
He does look like a Pee-wee's Playhouse character.
It made me so happy. I want to go back and I want to go and take new Who scenes with Lady Vastra, but then edit in footage of this cardboard dinosaur.
The Cavosaurus Rex.
Yeah, the Cavosaurus Rex.
You know what it looks like though? It looks like Baby Godzilla.
It does.
Yeah, Godzuki.
Yeah.
Godzuki. Yeah, so the Cavosaurus Rex shows up, and Pertwee in natural Pertwee fashion throws on the Pertwee cliffhanger face, and it's incredible. And here's the thing, this story is 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 6 cliffhangers. 3 of the 6 cliffhangers end with Pertwee cliffhanger face. This is, I think, the most condensed story of Pertwee cliffhanger face in existence.
You get a lot of, it's like zoom in on the eyes. Cut.
Each one is like more quality than the next one. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
He just keeps like, he does that cross-eyed thing.
Yeah.
Where he's like, it looks like, he like turns into like an anime character. Like,
he does. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like his head gets really big and like his body gets really small.
Yeah, like you just want to draw like a teardrop over his head every time he makes the cliffhanger face.
Pertwee-san.
It's incredible. So yeah, that's episode 1, and it's really good. Episode one's real good. Good place.
It is.
Nice neck of the woods. Speaking of nice necks of the woods.
There's so many police running through your town.
Gotham needs
Well, that was an ambulance, Scott.
Oh, that was an ambulance?
I believe so.
Okay, well, the cop was earlier, so that was...
No, you're fine.
that was an ambulance, so that they're following up on what the cop discovered, which is obviously someone on the verge of death.
And you want to believe it's ultimately a happy story, but...
The ambulance suggests otherwise.
All of the kids were just in a treehouse, but then one fell and hurt her wrist. We're on our way. At least they stopped that robbery.
We've got Chicago. We've got time for that in Chicago as an ambulance. Definitely.
They just need some blankets.
So tell us about part 2 of the Silurians, Cass.
Okay. So after that quality cliffhanger face, the dinosaur, Cavosaurus Rex kind of retreats. There's this tinny, like, 3-tone thing that plays, and the dinosaur's like, oh, time for dinner. So the doctor kind of shakes himself off and recovers and stuff, and he finds a massive, like, 3-toed, like, very stereotypical, like, dinosaur footprint on the cave floor. And he's like, oh, that's weird. And
that's
he's more excited about
right.
the footprint than you're encountering a dinosaur.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're totally right. That is absolutely his reaction. Like, he looks at it like, oh man, that's so weird and that's so crazy. And it's like, dude, you just came face to face with an actual dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, why is the footprint interesting at all?
In the doctor's defense, it is referenced later on in this episode that the doctor has encountered dinosaurs before.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that. It would be like seeing, like, if I were to turn into my apartment and see, like, an opossum, I'd be like, oh, I didn't know there was an opossum.
an opossum.
I wouldn't, like, freak out. I'd probably put it in a bag and then, like, put it outside. Not in the bag. I would let it out of the bag and just let it, like, walk down the sidewalk. And
but then if you found, like, an opossum footprint in your apartment, you'd be like, oh.
Well, then it'd be like, what the shit is that? I don't even know if I would be able to.
This is amazing.
It's a gremlin?
So, meanwhile, while the doctor is getting really excited about footprints, the brig is so concerned that he's been missing. So he's like sent out like a search party for the doctor, and like Liz is like, I don't know, man. He just, doctor. And
oh my god, you guys, I am shipping it so hard.
It's really
impossible not to. It's impossible.
Now that you've said Mulder and Scully, I really wanted to say like sexual tension included, because like
oh yes.
Well, it's great because they both want to be the alpha.
Yeah. That's the greatest part of their relationship, honestly.
Oh man.
They both secretly believe that the other one is like the assistant.
Honestly, I think a sex scene between the doctor and the brigadier and like nude wrestling would be indistinguishable between the two. They would be the same. It would look exactly the same.
Oh my
constantly
God.
Fighting for the alpha position.
Jiminy. Oh man. So just as the search party is about to be sent out to look for him, the doctor shows up and he's like, hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, there's just randomly dinosaurs in this cave and no one really believes the doctor. But the doctor is like, yeah, I just ran into this dinosaur. How about that? Let's go into the caves and look at him again. And
he probably hasn't moved.
Liz is like, oh, I want to go, but all of the guys are like, no, you can't go spelunking with the men. It's man time.
I want to see a dinosaur.
Yeah. So all of like the brigadier's men, like unit, goes into the caves, and he's like, okay, we're only gonna take small handguns, like nothing major, it's fine. But this guy, he like gets separated from the group and he like sees something. It's Major what's his face from the first one, right?
Yeah, it's the security officer.
Yeah, the security officer. So he doesn't really belong with unit, but he goes along because, soldier stuff. So he gets separated from the group and he sees something and shoots at it with his like giant rifle. And then he turns around and he's attacked by Cavosaurus Rex again. And
you know what else I thought about a lot every time the Cavosaurus Rex showed up? And I think it's because he's not that big. He's only like, what would you say? He's like 15 feet tall, something like that.
Oh my God, Did you want to fight the dinosaur?
No. All I could ever think about was how much I kind of wished the Cavosaurus Rex was scientifically accurate and was like covered in colorful feathers.
Oh, because he would be Big Bird.
because he would just be Big Bird.
Oh.
Hello, doctor.
he can have an imaginary friend named Snuffleupagus.
Have you seen the Funny or Die video where Big Bird interns at Funny or Die?
No.
It's like, okay, we have a new intern, and he's like, hello, and he has like a little tie.
Oh,
And
oh my god.
He's just like kind of bad at it. Like he doesn't know how to make coffee. He's like too big for like any of like to like, you know, make stuff. He doesn't know how like printers work, but they don't want to tell him that he's doing a bad job because he's like Big Bird.
Yeah. Oh, that's really sad.
Well, now I just want to see like Cavosaurus Rex like interning at Unit. Like he has like he's trying to carry a tray of tea, but he can't because his arms are too small. And he drops it.
Damn it!
He drops it.
Well, he can't even make the tea. He keeps like everywhere that there's like a tea station, it's against a wall. So like he keeps trying to get close enough to get to the tea, but his head keeps ramming into the wall, and he's like stretching out his little.
I was not made for these times.
Like someone like turns a corner and just sees this like dinosaur flailing at the tea, and then just like, oh okay, and then just keeps walking.
Someone want to help Cavosaurus make coffee?
He's trying to like make copies, and he can't reach it.
Let me do this.
God.
I know I can do this.
Oh. The brig sits him down. He's like, listen, son.
It's not gonna work.
Oh, we can't.
I have a record.
We can't continue this. However, what we can do is give you a gun. And so he just gives the Cavosaurus Rex 2 guns and tells him to fire shots. What is it? 5 shots rapid.
5 shots rapid.
Yeah. 5 shots rapid. There's just a T-Rex working for Unit with no explanation.
That's a spinoff.
He's even got the beret like on
Oh
his
my
head.
god.
And then 12 is like, who's in charge here? It's like, oh, it's been a long time, old friend. Feels like an eye patch.
And then like later in the show, it's like Matt Smith's the doctor, and he meets Brigadier Cavosaurus Rex.
Brigadier Cavosaurus Rex, at your service. It's been a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh
my
man.
God. Have we even gotten to the heavy breathing yet?
No.
No. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so the Major is attacked by the Cavosaurus Rex, who's just trying to do his job. And Unit is like, dude, what's up? Why are you firing your gun? And he's like knocked unconscious. So they go down the hallway, or the cave corridor, I guess, looking for the thing that the Major saw and shot at, and they find a trail of blood and they follow it, and as they do so, some mouth-breathing thing crawls out of a cave and just walks across a field.
Breathing like Sauron in like the 70s animated Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I love mouth breathy Doctor Who villains because this becomes like a thing. And
oh my god, it's like Jason Voorhees. It's like I just keep waiting for it to be like kill.
I love that it's in like its perspective too, because it's through like the goggles or the eyepiece or whatever, and you can't see anything.
No,
but it's wonderful.
It's like somebody, like nobody bothered to tell the people making this episode that reptiles don't see like insects. Like they don't have fly vision. They just have eyes.
Scott, I got 3 words for you. Pop, pop, pop.
He wasn't on the show anymore.
His spirit lives on.
All right, fair enough.
So the doctor analyzes the blood in the cave, and he's like, "Oh, it looks kind of reptilian. That's weird." And our mouth-breathing friend runs, finds a barn to hide in because it's like the middle of the night, and he like crouches behind some hay. He hits the hay. That's what he's doing.
He does.
Tush.
But did you say badum tush? Because I'm really into like using that as my compliment for people's butts. Like,
oh my god!
Oh, badum tush. You just do like a finger gun,
like a really terrible pun, and then you're like, "Yeah, butts."
Yeah.
Oh my god. I forgot to talk about Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man. So this whole time the unit is down in the caves, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, and his assistant, other scientist. Anyway, she is really into him.
Yeah, she is. Oh my
they're
god.
like being like really shifty. They're like, "Oh, unit is gonna mess everything up and blah blah blah, and we should tell them." And Dr. Quinn's like, "No, it's fine." So
No.
Dr. Quinn, after unit leaves the caves, he is wandering down by himself. And this is the start of one of my favorite things about this is I don't know what instrument it is, but it sounds like a kazoo.
It's amazing.
No, that was exactly my
episode.
note. That was exactly my note.
I love Silurian kazoo music. Like, it's this incidental music.
It has to be a kazoo.
It
has to be a kazoo.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like
literally their music is like a kazoo and a recorder. Like two fifth graders, like one plays a kazoo and one plays a recorder, and they're like, we should start a band.
Like the Silurian theme.
That's the Silurian music.
Yeah, the Silurian theme is like kazoo and some like recorder toots and then like a gamelan. Like, it's so weird. Like a, I don't know, and like a xylophone. Like, it's the weirdest high concept thing I've ever heard in my life, and I love it so much.
The score to this episode can best be described as oppressive.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh man. So Dr. Quinn's down in the caves, and he like is scanned by some red light, I think. Like, they scan him and they let him through. Whatever's down in these caves lets him through this door. And he shows up in this room, and he is saying that, the humans are going to be down here. You guys gotta like figure out what you're doing. You need to stop stealing all the power from the station.
You crazy kids really gotta knock it off.
And they're just like, whatever, man. You gotta find our hurt friend. We're not gonna listen to you, and we're not gonna tell you anything that we know until you find our hurt friend. Here is his little beeper, I guess. It looks like a tricorder.
Make sure that you leave a returning number, because otherwise he can't call you back. I mean,
it's a Silurian
how
pager.
beepers work. It's fine.
Oh man. So he's like, okay. So the next morning, the farmer who owns the barn finds our mouth-breathing friend, and you see this like green like claw hand, and the farmer's like, "Hey, wife, call the police. There's something weird in me barn." And she's just like, "What's in your barn?" And the farmer has like a pitchfork, and the whatever is in the barn attacks him. And yeah, it's pretty terrible. So the brig gets a call from the police that this farmer is dead. So they show up at the barn, and the doctor is like, "Oh, he died from fear." And
okay.
One might even say he died from fear.
We need to talk about this because what he says, what his exact line is, he's looking at it. He's looking at the guy, and he's like, "Heart failure." He's like, and then he turns, he goes, "You might even say he died from fear." And it's like, full on CSI Miami, like sunglasses flip up, like, and he just walks away, and the music's like, yeah! Like it's incredible.
This case just got spooky.
You might say he died from fear.
Which isn't even a pun or a joke, it's a statement.
Oh my god, I know, but the way that he plays it, it seems like it's some kind of like funny like joke moment.
Or
It's
like a
total
revelation,
CSI
but
moment.
but it's just like, okay, can people do that? Like,
Yeah.
A man is dead, doctor.
Or you could say that he had a heart attack. It's like, heart attack. You might say he died of fear. Or heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, this is in Salem in 1298, so I'm going to say he had a heart attack.
Well, maybe a heart attack.
And the Lord went in and grabbed his heart and shook it.
Oh my god.
So the farmer's wife is like in shock. So the doctor's like, oh, I need to find out more. Let's go badger this poor woman. So she is like in hysterics, and he takes like the official doctor chart and doodles like a really weird like lizard man on the paper, shows it to her, and she's like screaming, and then she like basically says like, oh, it's in the barn. And they left Liz in the barn to like, hey Liz, do all the sciencey stuff while the men do action things. And she's like, oh, okay,
Go get some water.
Yeah. So she is like analyzing the crime scene pretty much.
Oh my god.
And they're just like, oh, it's still in the barn.
I want to know, we never actually see what she's doing exactly.
Right.
But I mean, she's literally looking for a crime scene in a haystack. I mean, that's she's got her little briefcase thing with all of her little science CSI stuff, and she's taking individual pieces of hay and like dipping it into chemicals and then looking if the chemical changes colors and then putting it down and picking up another piece of hay.
It's so good.
Oh my god, it's the most ridiculous like science busy work I've ever seen.
There's
This
almost something
episode
kind
is
of
like this whole story is nothing but lizards and science busy work though, and I love it so much.
It's amazing.
if I just sit here, the plot will come to me.
And you know what? Right she was.
So
I am the second lead of this.
So they're like, oh, we gotta save Liz. So Liz is doing her sciencey stuff, and the mouth breather like kind of sneaks up on her and pretty much like decks her across the face, and then that's how the
just
episode
cold
ends.
cocks her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's almost like, I don't know, like, you know, we're kind of used to like, oh, and then like they spray a gas and Amy Pond like is unconscious, but just the visual of just a foam arm just punching Shaw in the face.
It's pretty great.
So, like, it's so petty and violent.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
She showed no aggression to him at all.
Yeah, she just turns around and he's
I'll
just
get
like,
you to turn around.
yeah. It's terrible, but it's so funny.
It's just weird because it's so clearly like a fake arm on a stick.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good though. Yeah.
So that's part
That's
2.
episode 2.
Yeah. Episode 3 is it starts off right where we left off. The Evil Dead thing. The
Evil Dead thing.
Runs away, and when the doctor and Briggs head outside, they they wake Liz up, and the Briggs is like, hunt that whatever it is across the moor, do whatever you have to do, and then Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, arrives at the barn. And he just starts acting like hella sketchy. This is when I began a very important intellectual and spiritual journey through this story that I like to call be a lizard. I was watching this episode by myself, as I stated before, and whenever Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, would come and start acting sketchy, I kind of started getting the idea that he was going to be a lizard. Like, he was going to be a Silurian disguised as a human. And so I would just kind of like, be a lizard, be a lizard, be a lizard. And I was like, maybe if I will it hard enough, that'll end up being like the twist. And so that's kind of where I was at.
Oh my god.
So the doctor's like, he's acting like someone who is a lizard, so I'm gonna go to his cottage and
A+ detective work.
yeah. And then he goes to the cottage and he notices that it's remarkably hot, much like a reptile house, at which point I'm like, be a lizard. And then Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, comes out and he's like, hey, the doctor's like, hey, why is your thermostat broken? And he's like, why are you in my house? Like, dude, get out. And he's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And then he breaks into Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man's office and he finds like a globe that's made of like, it kind of looks like it's made of like putty. It kind of looks like an avocado, to be honest. Like it's a really dark globe.
Mm-hmm.
And Shaw it's Shaw, right? Shaw notices that like, oh, the continents are all mushed together. And I was like, give me that. And he's like, oh, whoa, this is the way that the Earth looked like when it was millions of years old during the Silurian epoch. And Shaw's like, you want to run that by me again? Back at the cottage, Mrs. Dawson comes once again to try and persuade Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, to like come clean and stop this, fool's campaign. But Dr. Quinn is like adamant that he's like, no, I want to keep the wounded Silurian captive. We can get knowledge from him. I could be number one. This could be good. And the doctor comes back to the cottage and he finds Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, dead. dead in his chair.
Whoopsie.
And what?
I said whoopsie.
Oh, whoopsie. Yeah. And then the doctor notices in Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man, his hand, he sees like a weird object. And he's like, well, this is weird. And he starts making that awful whistling noise again. And just as he responds to a signal and emerges, and then something comes out of the doorway and he turns around and you know where this is going. A weird lizard thing like from Land of the Lost shows up and then the doctor gives Pertwee face.
The best Pertwee face. Still not. That's like our first one was like grade C Pertwee face. This one's grade B. Grade A is yet to come.
Yes.
The audacity of this serial for using the same cliffhanger legit like 4 times is respectable, to say the least.
It is. It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, so like the Silurian's walking toward him, and then he just is like, "Oh my god, it's a lizard monster Sleestack thing. Oh my god!" And then we start episode 4, and he's like, "Oh my god, oh, hello, are you a Silurian?" And he offers his hand, and the Silurian's like, "Wait, you want to shake my hand?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's be friends, you guys." Like
everyone always thinks that I like love humans. I don't love humans.
Yeah, I love aliens. Yeah. I'm an alien. So the Silurian is like, and then runs away, and we go back to Baker, who's still convinced that the caves are where like all the answers to everything is going to be. And so he overpowers a unit soldier and enters the caves by himself. And he's captured by the Silurians and he gets interrogated by them, which is pretty fantastic. But yeah, so he starts to get interrogated by them, and then we start going to like looking at everything else. But like, there's this one really when he escapes, the way that he escapes, because he is in the mental ward, and he calls in who is that guy? Is that the security guy? That's the security guy, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baker.
So he calls in the security guy and he's like, "Hey, so my arm, I'm much better now, and my arm is hurting. Can you help me out of my jacket?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." So he helps him out of his jacket. He's like, "Okay, great." And then judo chops him and runs away.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Is that the first judo chop of the episode?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I think so. And then the
not
we
counting
learned
when that monster judo chopped Liz.
yeah. And then we learned that the Silurians have a third eye that they can shoot off, and then like that's what turns people into cavemen, apparently, or at least it can like turn them into cavemen, or it can like stun them. It's a lot like a Star Trek phaser in that way. Yeah.
This whole episode is it leans in a good way, right? It leans really heavily into OG Star Trek.
Yeah, it definitely does. So then we get the revelation that the Doctor has lost his we learned in part 1 that the Doctor had lost his sonic screwdriver and he doesn't know where it is. And I wondered at this point, because at this point the Doctor has that noisemaker thing that calls Silurians up. And it's like some sort of Silurian sonic technology. And it makes me wonder if the reason he lost his sonic screwdriver is just for the MacGuffin of having these things, because I feel like what those things do, he could easily just do with a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's almost it's one of the advantages of this era of the show that is kind of it almost does sort of predate the procedural era that we're starting to leave, CSI and CIS, and the idea of making the Doctor the like quirky weird member of this ensemble is such an interesting idea, and kind of does make for a little like, oh well, he just left it at his desk or something stupid.
Right. So then basically the Fellowship of the Caves starts to come together.
Sure.
And so the Fellowship of the Caves is the Brigadier, the Doctor, Dr. Lawrence, and Dr. Quinn's medicine woman.
Damn.
And they all get
match.
And they all get together and they talk about what they're going to do about these creatures in the caves. And Dr. Lawrence, who hasn't seen anything, is like, "You guys are all insane. Whatever. This is dumb." And the Doctor's like, "No, we got to be kind to them, and we got to teach them understanding, and that humanity is like cool and everything." And
put a little love in your heart.
Right. And then the Brigadier is like, we should shoot him because I'm the army guy and we should shoot everything and it's fine. Blow him up, right? And
Brexit.
Yeah. And the doctor starts to reveal that he has like a real problem with Brigadier being military and about like military answers to problems and things like that.
Yeah.
He has a real issue with that. Something that we get more of with the 12th Doctor.
Yeah, I immediately my mind went straight to the caretaker.
Yeah, totally. So he starts kind of getting mad at the Brigadier, and then the woman is like, "Look, I don't care that you guys don't believe that this is a problem, but this is definitely a problem. So we should just murder them all. Let's genocide, straight up genocide. Who cares?
Cersei Lannister.
Yeah. Let's kill them all. So and in this scene, it's great because Dr. Lawrence, not only does Dr. Lawrence have like the meanest comb over you've ever seen, but he's also like straight up wearing women's makeup. Like he's wearing pink lipstick in this scene, and it's pretty. Yeah. Huh. It's pretty incredible.
Maybe he did his own makeup off camera.
Yeah, he might have, because he's wearing powder and he's wearing mascara.
Oh, poor guy. I bet the BBC didn't have the budget for someone to do his makeup.
Maybe. And he's wearing pink lipstick. It's the most unnatural. It makes his lips look like the most unnatural color. It's absurd. But yeah, so the brigadier has been trying to get back up to check out the caves, because his argument is that like the caves are enormous, and if they're going to find these creatures or find whatever the problem is that's siphoning off the power from the nuclear plant in the caves at the moors, he's going to need more men to search the caves. And his request for backup was denied because no one believes that there's crazy lizard creatures in the caves. And they're just like, we're not giving you backup for that. You're a crazy person. And he's like, I mean, this is ridiculous. It doesn't have anything to do with the lizard people. We need to find a solution to this power problem. Lizard people or not, I need more men. And they're just not they're not agreeing to it. Then we cut back to the soldier from earlier, the dude from earlier. He's being questioned by the Silurians, and it's pretty incredible because it's just two Silurians playing good cop, bad cop. And it is, I mean, it's amazing. And he's just in a cave, or like he's like, they're in this cave, and he's just in a cage, like with bars. And they are standing on either side of the cage, questioning him in a good cop, bad cop type of deal. And then one of them says, he asks, where I forget who he's saying, where is something. He says, where is someone? Was it the other guy that was down there with him?
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Man?
Maybe it was Dr. Quinn.
Well, because the doctor isn't present for the Fellowship of the Caves. He's like stuck in jail with this guy.
Oh, that's right. So like, what is he talking about? The doctor then when he says it?
I think so. I think you're bleeding into episode 5 a little. Because
the last line is like he asked them, or is it the doctor who's asking them? Ask them where someone is. I don't know who he's asking, because the line that ends the episode is, I have destroyed them, and now I shall destroy you.
Oh, the unit because the unit soldiers are still trapped in the caves. They're looking for Baker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're talking to Pertwee, and the doctor is just like, well, what did you do with them? And then he says, the Silurian says, I have destroyed them, and now I will destroy you. And then turns on his third eye, and starts to psychically mess with the doctor. So that's how episode 4 ends.
Mm-hmm.
And
indeed,
it is some solid stuff. Is this a Pertwee face too, or does it end on like a fast zoom into the third eye?
I want to say it's the fast zoom into the third eye, which is an amazing name for an album.
Yeah.
Doctor Who and the Silurians presents the fast zoom into the third eye.
See, like that sounds like a Brian Lee O'Malley book.
It does. Oh, it's so good. So that's the first 4 parts of the Silurians, and we're going to talk about parts 5 through 7 next week. But in the meantime, you can go to our website, duelinggenre.com. You can go check out the post of this episode and other episodes, as well as all of our other podcasts, like Back to the Future Minute, which is the daily podcast where Nick and I discuss every minute of Back to the Future, of the Back to the Future trilogy. Cassandra was just a guest.
No, you're wasting your life.
Yeah, she was just a guest like last week, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
We weirdly talked about Mad Max a lot, and then also Geek by Night, our original audio drama about friends who run a comic book store together and also have superpowers. So go check that out as well. It's fully cast and that sort of thing. And then if you want to go check out our Patreon page, duelinggenre.com/support, you can become a supporter there, and we'll give you all sorts of extra stuff, including if we get to the goal, we will do a live episode of The Doctor's Companion in which we will talk about, is it Doctor Who and the Daleks? That's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Peter Cushing Doctor Who theatrical film. So we'll do like a live episode about that if we get to our goal on Patreon. So go check out our Patreon, duelinggenre.com/support. And if you want a Doctor's Companion t-shirt, we are selling merchandise at duelinggenre.com/merch. You'll go to our TeePublic page and you'll see t-shirts for the Doctor's Companion as well as Back to the Future Minute, both seasons of Back to the Future Minute, and Geek by Night.
It's our cover art on the website, but on a shirt.
Yeah. So go check that out and put our faces on your chest. That's something that you're into. And of course, we will be back next week